my first question is, what's your reaction to the executive order?
Well, the executive order really doesn't change anything. It's an enforcement issue today. It's going to be an enforcement issue even more so under regulation. So, as far as the order goes, we are not the policymakers. We have to be guided by our lawmakers, and we have to carry out the mission that they prescribe under the law. But I can tell you, we still have very fundamental concerns. As our responsibilities to enforce the law, we're very concerned that, over 0.3% THC is still being openly sold in Texas. And just as a reminder to everybody, the 2018 Farm Bill was created to help the agricultural hemp industry. It was never intended to allow the open sale of THC over 0.3%. So THC is a psychoactive compound found in both the hemp plant and the marijuana plant. The difference is the hemp plant contains 0.3% or less THC. Marijuana contains more than 0.3%. So if you really look at these products that we've discovered, almost all being over 0.3%, it's legally the same as marijuana. There is no difference from a legal standpoint. Marijuana is illegal. These THC products over 0.3% are illegal, and they will continue to be illegal under regulation. The other concern is what we've seen in our investigations is the vast majority of the products being sold at these stores are over 0.3%. They're intoxicating, and the business model just doesn't work for these businesses to bring in billions of dollars annually selling only hemp products. So therefore, it would be logical to assume that over the last 6 years, they have not regulated themselves. We in law enforcement have not had the resources to regulate them. So why all of a sudden under regulation would they comply with the law? We don't believe that that's going to happen. And we also believe that's why the hemp industry is really applauding this executive order, because they know that they'll be able to continue to sell these illegal products openly.
Yeah, would it be accurate to say, the regulation feels like there's still so many caveats and complications, whereas I know that law enforcement was pushing for a ban. It's just clean and easy, just ban it.
Well, we didn't get to a ban initially. We actually studied regulation, but the pathway wasn't there, and I'll tell you there's several reasons why. Case in point, as I mentioned, over the last 6 years, the over 8,500 retail stores have been selling illegal product, most all of them, if not all of them. There has been no regulation. Local law enforcement doesn't have the resources. TABC has about 50 openings right now. They have 60,000 plus alcohol retail establishments to govern. They can't keep up with what they've got. So the idea that we're all of a sudden going to have money and personnel to regulate these products, it's just not feasible. In a city of 27 square miles, I have 24 shops. Put that across the state of Texas. The other problem is when you regulate, you still have to test for quantity of THC. It's very expensive. We have to send that to private labs because the DPS labs can't process it. It's so expensive that it's cost prohibitive for a lot of chiefs that want to go after these illegal sales. They're unable to do so. So, if we really step back and think about regulation, it's going to take decades and millions of dollars to even try to regulate it. It's just not feasible. So for that reason, we concluded that the only way to really solve this problem, the illegal exploitation of a loophole in the Farm Bill, was to ban the product. Now, we took a very thoughtful approach. You recall, we advocated for expanding the Texas Compassionate Use Program to help those with valid medical issues see a licensed physician, and we advocated to decriminalize the first-time possession from a felony to a misdemeanor. But the fact of the matter is, these businesses are prolific across the state, and our community members tell us on a daily basis they don't want them in our cities and towns.
Do you feel, some sense of victory with regards to the age limit? Because I know that was a huge concern of yours, is the kids.
Well, yeah, the kids remain a concern, and everybody remains a concern. One of the things that we found out in our investigations that we validated, we found products up to 79% THC when over 0.3 is illegal. We found that the contents in the packaging rarely match the label or the certificate of analysis. So these industry retailers are really engaging in deceptive business practices through selling these illegal products. So certainly we're concerned about kids, but let's look at tobacco and alcohol. Has age gating and tobacco and alcohol prevented young people from using those products? Absolutely not. You're right. You walk into a store, you've seen them. It looks like a candy store marketed to kids, but there will be, as long as they're accessible on every street corner, which they will be under regulation, the number may even increase. We're still going to have young people using these products. It's really simple. They're illegal. It's illegal in Texas. Marijuana is illegal in Texas. THC over 0.3% is the same as marijuana. It's got to be banned because what we're focused on is the health and safety of our communities. And why would the state of Texas spend millions and millions of dollars on an expansive regulatory program for only a very small segment of our population who wants to buy an intoxicant? That's what we don't also understand.
So, I mean, realistically, does anything change? Because, I mean, you already mentioned it without me even asking, the testing, the cost of the testing. I mean, does anything change for law enforcement on the streets?
No, nothing changes. Again, the products are illegal today. They'll be illegal tomorrow. They'll be illegal under regulation. I believe that, and we believe professionally, that regulation will empower the industry, that it will expand. And let me tell you how we formed that opinion. We are the subject matter experts because we see these products, we investigate these products, we validate those through accredited testing. We follow the valid medical research. We talk to our colleagues in the legalized states, and then we talk to the families who have been devastated by these products. That's how we form our opinion. The hemp industry's done a really good job of pouring a lot of money into the market to make it seem oversimple or harmless, but they're not. The marijuana of the 70s was probably about 4% THC, and again, we're testing these products up into the 70s. So when you get the higher potency, it's easier to become addicted with more lifelong health problems.
I mean, you mentioned the money, obviously. That's a very powerful industry now in Texas. Mm-hmm. I mean, you were the face of this push. It felt like, I mean, you got it almost there. You got it, I would say, to the finish line, right? To the finish line. Maybe not across it, but what about 2027? Like, I mean, do you see another try? I mean, are we going to try this again?
Well, what I'm proud of is we spent a lot of time helping educate the House and the Senate. And once they became educated, both chambers voted out a ban incident to become law. We do not understand why it was vetoed, but again, we're not policymakers at the state level. We are going to continue to strongly advocate for our community's health and safety. We are going to continue when we can to enforce this law. But again, as I've mentioned, there's so many inhibitors to being able to enforce this law from a local standpoint. And our state partners are already stretched very thin because when we need their assistance in other areas, sometimes it's difficult to get that assistance. So where are the bodies and the money going to come from? I mean, you've got police departments across the state that can't even fill their openings for police officer positions. Where are all of these regulators going to come from? It's just a difficult issue that comes back to the fact that if marijuana is illegal in Texas, the THC products over 0.3% are no different. Why are they not going to be illegal? And the notion that we're going to be able to test, oversee, and regulate these products is just not physically possible. And there's naivety to believe that these businesses can remain open and operating if they sell less than 0.3% THC products. But who's going to be in the stores every day checking? These products are manufactured outside of the state of Texas. I mean, you understand the difficulties. We want to be at the table. We want to work towards solutions whenever possible. We offered a lot of very thoughtful input. We didn't just go immediately to a ban, and we want to continue to be at that table, but we are the path that we're heading down is certainly not what we expected for Texas. Even some of the legalized marijuana states have banned these THC products because they've determined that they're so very harmful because of the high potency. You know, I think it's important to note that the police chiefs in Texas, all of the sheriffs in Texas, and both of our large police officer associations, we all remain united in a ban because we understand that regulation really equals legalization.